Welcome to the Dr. Geo Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Geo, where it is my goal to share with you some of my research, insights, and lifestyle tools on how you can improve your urological function and live better with age. Today, we're going to dive deep into diet and prostate cancer. 1 out of every 6 men will get prostate cancer in their lifetime. So this goal that we all have of living a long time, right? We all want to live a long time, and I'm all about longevity. The longer we live, the higher the probability of developing prostate cancer as a man. So all you need is to have a prostate to develop prostate cancer. There's a lot of confusion as it relates to diet and prostate cancer because people are reading things on the internet and things that are not true or don't apply to prostate cancer. And I'll give you an example. So one of the diets that I don't think really works and no one with prostate cancer should do is ketogenic diet. When you look it up, it is connected to being beneficial for many cancers, like brain cancer or glioblastoma, where those type of cancers are glycolytic type of cancers. In simple language, that means that these cancer cells use glucose for its energy source. So then the cancer metabolizes sugar and it helps with its growth and spread. Prostate cancer is not a glycolytic cancer, at least primary prostate cancer. So ketogenic diet means a type of diet that increases your ability to create ketones for energy. So you have trillions of cells in your body, and each cell requires a certain amount of energy to function. And most of its energy is created from glucose. But if your body does not have glucose because of starvation or a ketogenic diet, then it can use some protein, and some of the protein is created into glucose. So that's why a ketogenic diet is not a high protein diet. Ketogenic diet is a high fat diet. You go to xywellness.com, you'll see a printout available to you on the type of diet that I promote for prostate cancer. So the best diet for prostate cancer is a plant-based Mediterranean type diet. The consumption of certain vegetables help with keeping prostate cancer at bay. The key vegetables to consume include broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, and kale. The anti-cancer benefits, and more specifically, the anti-prostate cancer benefits of food is not as much the vitamins and minerals, but it is the phytochemicals. These have anti-prostate cancer benefits. A typical recommendation is to have half of your plate have some sort of cruciferous vegetables, mildly cooked. Then you have the Mediterranean part. Fish, particularly salmon, seems to be protective. Let's keep it simple. Stay away from trans fatty acids. Stay away from fried foods. Stay away from bad oils and use good fats. Can you have eggs? And the answer is you want to have no more than 4 eggs a week. Eggs have been closely correlated to prostate cancer. And yes, correlation does not equal causation. I understand. Should you not eat eggs at all? Well, look, the poison is in the dose. If you have a couple of eggs a week, you don't have to worry about getting worse prostate cancer from that or getting prostate cancer. Based on research and what I recommend patients with is not more than 4 eggs a week. Diets are like religion now, in my opinion. But everybody would agree, interestingly, that processed sugars and simple carbohydrates are bad for you. I am not saying to never have a cookie. I'm saying that you want to be careful with the dose. You want to be careful with overconsumption. So I would seriously limit sugar. This includes, of course, table sugar. You don't want to add sugar to anything, including your tea or coffee. So how about whole grains? So in general, things like quinoa, it's great. Brown rice, that's organic. Buckwheat is great. Do you need to eliminate carbohydrates? No, you don't. You want to be careful with things that are high in sugar and simple carbohydrates, but not eliminate whole grains, particularly that are low in gluten. I would stay away from gluten just because I've clinically seen many people do better as a whole without gluten because gluten seems to be a pro-inflammatory food, so it promotes inflammation. So stay away from gluten. Here's the deal. Dr. Geo, red meat is bad for you. It is bad for prostate cancer. I don't know that. Some research does correlate red meat consumption with prostate cancer, but there's a lot of variables in there because typically red meat eaters also are high carbohydrate eaters and simple carbohydrate eaters and smokers and drinkers and so forth. Meats that are cooked in high temperature are bad because they create these chemicals. When you cook meats in high temperature, it creates these chemicals that are pro-carcinogenic. Meats that are cold cuts and prepared meats that have nitrates and things like that, those are the type of meats that seem to be harmful and pro-carcinogenic. If you're going to consume red meat, make it grass-fed. Research indicates that chicken is fine, but without the skin. Have chicken without skin, have the best type possible, organic, free roaming, and don't have it that often. Fruits are fine. Low glycemic fruits are better. So these are fruits like berries. You want to be careful with some high glycemic foods like very ripe bananas, because very ripe bananas is almost all sugar. Coffee seems to be protective against prostate cancer. I would get organic coffee because we don't want these pesticides. Coffee is actually high in pesticides and things. Ginger is an anti-inflammatory. I love ginger. Ginger tea. Chamomile tea is great. Those are my favorite. How about fruit juice? I would stay away from fruit juice. So fruit juice is way too high in sugar. An apple is not the same thing as apple juice. Excessive alcohol consumption has been connected to cancer, so you want to control that. The reality is that some of you are going to drink anyway. So what do? Have red wine. There might be benefit. At least some studies suggest that red wine is fine. Now, the alcohol in red wine is not what's good. And I would probably say beer is the least best as it relates to prostate cancer. There's estrogenic components to beer and so forth. Before I go, the number one rule that I have with diet and life and diet and cancer and diet and prostate cancer is don't ever eat anything with guilt. Guilt might be more indigestible than any food you'll ever eat. Be mindful when you eat. Food is addictive. Some drinks are addictive. Don't go to events hungry ever. When you go into the party, don't have the mentality of, oh, let me save my appetite to go to the party. Don't do that. Eat a high value, optimal dish with food or make yourself a nice smoothie. Then go to the party, have a good time. Don't worry about it. I trust today's podcast is helpful to you in terms of figuring things out as it relates to diet and prostate cancer. Yes, diet is important and food is medicine, but only if it's the right food. This is Dr. Geo signing off. I'll talk to you next time.